AI. We're talking about it. We're going there because I know more than a few of us around the nation, if not the world, are thinking it is going to replace us. But in actuality, especially those of us that are seasoned professionals, if you ask me, we are the I in AI. I always love to say that. We're the intelligence in AI. We are the intelligence in AI. Yes, I had to say that twice. But today, or not even a but, today we're talking with Regis Arzu, and really, he's an AI expert. And he is going to be at an event that we are hosting right here in Denver, Colorado. And it's to actually have it so that we're not so much as scared of AI and that it's going to replace us, but instead, he is going to talk with us about how it can be your career concierge. Because really, many of us, if not, well, not just many, but a lot of us are jobless. We're job hunting. We're pivoting careers. We've lost our jobs due to layoffs, due to whatever the circumstance may be. And we are consumed with trying to find a job. And perhaps we're not using this new tool of ours, this new tool that's actually been around for many, 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 many years. Because if you have Alexa, that is AI. Right? So it's been around for quite some time. If you have Siri, I'm a Android user. I don't know what Android calls their human, or I'm sorry, their AI bot. But regardless, we are going to talk about not fretting AI as a seasoned professional, really any professional today, but how it is we can utilize it in helping us land the job. So I am bringing on stage today hello, Regis. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
How do I follow that up? Like, how am I an AI expert and I didn't think of we are the eye of AI? That is amazing. So, like, all right. This is how we're gonna start. All right, I love it. Let's do it.
We are the I in AI. I've been using that in more than a few of my speeches, right? Because when I talk to organizations and workplaces and talk about workplace culture and communication and the intergenerationality that's happening, the fact that we have 4 to 5 generations in the workplace, I like to not only remind the audience that if you are a Gen X boomer or a booming Gen Xer or even a booming Gen X millennial who is over 40, that we are digital founders, in particular boomers and Gen Xers are digital founders, and not to fret it, but instead really understand that technology is not here not many of us are scared of it really, but there are some. And this one in particular, people are getting really fretful of. And so, yeah, I like to remind people that we're the I.
I would say people are scared of it. I mean, Terminator came out, Matrix. I mean, people are petrified. But yes, I get what you're saying.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about that before we. I do want you to share how you even got into it, what you do, and all the things before we talk about how we can utilize it for our careers. And as you say, a career concierge. I really like that. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I'm going to be honest. I love tech. I'm a Gen Xer who loves tech. I actually studied RPG and Fortran. That's going to shock people in college, in high school, actually. Mm-hmm. So I thought I was going to go into computers, and then instead I became a mall marketing director because I really liked marketing. But I've always been fascinated by tech, but I am like most that I believe that we are going to be iRoboted one day. And there's a chance that it may take over the world. I hope not in an evil way. But you're right. We're scared of it. So share with us what you hear out there on those streets, as we like to say. And talk to us about AI.
So here, I guess where do you want me to start? I got my story on how I got into it, or more just my thoughts on AI?
You know what? Let's talk about your story first, Regis, and then let's talk about what you're hearing about why people are scared, but why they shouldn't be.
Fair enough. So this is when I got bit by a radioactive spider and became Spider-Man. So it's my origin story. So many moons ago, most of my world is in banking. That's where my 9 to 5 and like my world is. And I moved up the corporate ladder. And somewhere in there, I decided kind of to, like your audience, kind of own my destiny and work for myself, go to entrepreneurship. And I decided to to create my own tech company. Actually, some poor Black dude from the Bronx, first generation American, decided to try to be like Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk. So I ended up building
Amazing.
CoVoice, which is an app that connects people to human interpreters on demand. So think Uber of interpreting, and they show up on your phone via FaceTime and do that. So
Wow.
around that time of creating the app, I started the app with my brother. He ended up leaving the company for his own personal reasons, so I needed to like build and grow the company. So I was in a position where I was like, oh, AI is coming out, or like ChatGPT was becoming a thing. So like I'm gonna nerd out on this and leverage it.
When
Also,
is this? When is this? What year is
like
this?
2 years ago when ChatGPT came out, maybe 3 at this point right now. More or less when ChatGPT came out, I think is 2022. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Woo, right.
23. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I was able to leverage AI. Also, prior, again, growing up, I felt like I missed the programming wave or computer engineering wave. So when like prompt engineering became a thing and everybody's like, oh, this is the new computer thing, like I was like, I'm gonna learn this better than anyone I know, because I'm not like the same way computer engineers learn how to control the computer, like prompt engineering is how to get AI to do what you want it to do. So again, at the same time, and kind of running my business and controlling it and understanding AI is where I decided like I'm going to learn this very well. And in growing my business, I was kind of niching towards nonprofit and working with them. And
Mm.
although I have a cool app, it was very niche. So not a lot of nonprofits were interested in that just yet, or my app, but they were interested in my knowledge in AI. Either they would ask me questions on how did you do this, or how could you do this, or I would be like, hey, that 3-hour thing you're doing, you can do it in 5 minutes if you just do this prompt. So that grew into and listening to my audience and what they wanted, I ended up creating ETS AI Consulting, which
Oh,
ETS stands for Exist to Serve.
oh, I
um,
love that.
and that's where my AI consulting grew and birth and here where we are speaking to amazing people like you and your audience.
Oh, and I have to say, I love how how it came to be that I met you. And immediately, once I met you, not only because I heard you did AI, but I liked your energy. And then when you said, after we agreed to, yes, have you be a part of CareerCon, you shared what ETS means. And I just love that in a day like these days that we're living in, that for some can be a little bit tough, mentally and all the things. I love that it's all what you bring to the table is happiness, joy, and all that through just the term of existing to serve. That
Yes.
says sort of the human being that you are and the humans that, a lot of us want to kind of rub shoulders with.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and I met you at Park Hill Innovation Hub, and I
Mhm.
met you through another gentleman that I had just met that day. And he had wonderful things to say about you and pointed you out across the way. And then we got to talking, and I shared that we're doing this career event, and it's really to help the seasoned professional, because there is this problem that's happening in not just America, but really around the world, where there's a crisis happening with people over a certain age not being able to get hired. And AI, a lot of us want to blame AI these days, on top of human capital and
Mhm.
recruiters, even though it's not really, there's just a learning curve that they have to, I
Mhm.
think some have to recognize the value that experience brings to the table. So I don't want to be the one that's poo-pooing on humans, but let's talk about the AI component. So for AI, first share with us what you're hearing before people really learn what AI and how AI can really be utilized in as a career concierge. Why are we scared of it? And why shouldn't we be scared of it?
Perfect. Perfect. So I'll answer your question by adding this small part of my story. So when I was going from CoVoice to ETSAI Consulting, um, I was thinking like, okay, actually, so I'm a man of faith, and I was kind of like just figuring out, okay, like God, tell me, I don't want to get into this thing where it's going to help destroy us. Again, we see all these robots and we see all these movies, and we can visualize it so clearly, and with AI we can see it. And to be honest, I'm scared too of it. Like, I can see where it goes. So I was in prayer of like, let me know if I should pursue this, and because if it's going to destroy us, I don't want to do it.
I
You
love
know,
that.
and,
Yeah.
and it was very scary because I'm fairly good at it. I mean, if you knew what was in my brain, you'd be scared of.
Oh, no, I heard you're really good at it.
Yeah. um, and so around that time, as I was kind of doing prayer and just kind of thinking and determining whether I want to pursue it, I listened to this quote in a podcast, so I can't take credit for it, but it helped help me decide, okay, this is the right thing for me. And it also answered your question at the same time. So in the podcast, I heard someone say, anything that is impactful or important enough to change the world for the better can equally change the world for the worse.
Ooh.
Interesting. So I was thinking
Wow.
about that. I'm like, cars.
Deep.
Cars are amazing. We all get in cars every day, but I mean, we all know a lot of people die in car accidents
Right.
nowadays. You know,
Right.
social media can connect people like you and I, amazing people. But we all know who's out there on social media doing scary things. You know, and
Right.
you
The
name
deep
it.
web,
Exactly. The
Yeah.
internet. We can't avoid it. And we know how
Right.
much people are addicted to it, and like to the point that it negatively impacts them. So as I processed that thought and heard this quote and was like, oh, okay, then I concluded that it is up to us, the I and AI, to determine whether we leverage AI for good or bad. That's it. It's up to us. It's up to the human being.
Yes.
You know, it's not the bullet
Yes.
that's guilty in doing the shooting. It's the person holding the gun.
Right.
So in this case, I decided to say, okay, I will be that example of how to leverage AI for good. I'm going to be the one countering and using it for good. Hence me like trying to pursue it to help nonprofits to help them do their work a lot more. So I guess to clearly answer your question, why should they not be scared of it? Is because we as humans determine what we can do with it. Now, to your point earlier, can we be scared because humans are going to use it bad? Valid concern. But again, and here, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, meaning that as equal enough as there's someone using AI for bad, I know that there's people that's leveraging AI for good.
Yes. And the other thing too is, as you're saying that, I'm thinking there has to be people like you that are on first of all, I was taught and always have been taught and always think of things as glass half full. So I think that there's that good always outweighs evil. And I too, by the way, come from a church family. My grandfather was a pastor of his own church. But so I love that you leaned on God for that and for prayer. But right, I do believe that there needs to be more people like you, and probably are more good, way more good, as far as people that are bringing AI to the goodness side than there will be, and hopefully will ever be on the maybe negative side of things. So there needs to be people like you that said, you know what, I'm going to lean into it, and I'm going to exist to serve people in a better way, in the terms of goodness, because otherwise it's going to get lost.
Exactly. And if I could give another, I guess, why people should not be scared of AI, maybe hot take depending on how people perceive this, but I truly, and I can stand by it and make this case, that AI is the great equalizer right now. Because if you look at it from because if you look at it from the have and have-nots, the haves is mainly due to access to education, access to knowledge, access to schooling, access, like you name it, comes from an economical, but that economics gives them the knowledge, and that's where the haves have, because they have the information, they know how to invest their money, they know where to go, and there was this bridge that the have-nots, where I grew up from, the Bronx, New York, where we just didn't have anything, we just had to survive.
Yeah.
We didn't have access to that knowledge. We didn't have anyone telling us where to invest our funds. We didn't have anyone telling us how to, use your credit or what credit is. So the way we grew up learning credit is you destroy it and then find out, oh, that was important. And then you realize how important it is. But in this age of information, this AI, we're like one prompt away from learning everything we need to learn about credit, for example. Everything we need to know about specific, like back then we would joke and say, well, that's not rocket science. as a statement to determine that rocket science is like this thing that takes so much education to learn. Nowadays, my son, who's 9 years old, could learn rocket science. Like, he could literally say, AI, teach me about rocket science, and talk to me as if I'm a 9-year-old. And it now explained things. True story, we actually did it. I was like, hey, learn it. I want to see how this works. And he
I
was
love
starting to
that.
understand combustion and all these terms, stuff that, again, we didn't have any access to. We can now learn. So fast forward to the audience and anyone looking for a job, like, we now have this access to education that not many had. You can go into there and be an accounted expert. To be honest, if you spend enough time, those 10,000 hours to be an expert, you cannot pull that from AI, be that expert, have experience, and then come to the table and be like, well, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this, in a
Yeah.
world where we could not prior to AI.
That's fascinating because, yes, so your point is everybody has access to it.
Mm-hmm.
The haves and the have-nots
Yep.
have access to this tool. Because which is really fascinating and great. My question is, will you still, your son is 9, will you still want your son to go to college? Or because I feel like what's happening is college admissions are going to lower eventually if they haven't already started.
So we just jumping into those hot takes. I think, honestly, and I've had this debate with a few people who either don't want to believe it or, but I do feel the college education will be degraded. It's already, I would say, it's already challenging, because like
You said degraded?
degraded, like it's not, people are
Okay.
not going to hold it to the standard that they hold college degrees now. I truly feel that.
Wow.
Actually, I won't shout anybody out, but I know someone who literally got their college degree using AI. Like, literally, it was like, you have this task, take it, put into AI, and then from AI, they put, well, I'm not teaching your audience this. Don't do this.
Yeah.
But, and then they put into like an AI like thing that allows it to un-AI it, meaning that no machine could read it. And then they would just hand in their paper or do small edits and like got a degree, bachelor's degree, just doing this with a full-time job.
What? They un-AI'd it because I did hear, even though I'm sort of going off task here, but I did hear that professors are trying to create their own bots to figure out if the students are using AI. So you're
Exactly.
saying there's now, that's a whole new word, by the
Yeah.
way, un-AI'd it. In AI.
Yeah. So and I don't know how much we want to nerd out here, but at a
I'm a
very high
nerd.
level, AI is just a predictor of the future, meaning that it just has all this knowledge and it can predict the future of a sentence, of a statement, of a category, a topic, because it has this back brain to be like, understanding a topic. So it can predict the future based on the past. So most of how AI works, I think we all know this, where it's like, it all sounds the same. Like, you can tell what's AI and what's not. So
Yes.
because it's so predictable and you can tell what is AI, you can now un-AI it by taking out that predictability. So if it's like, I will drive my car, everyone's going to say car. If I say I will drive my, autonomous vehicle, same sentence is un-AI'd because you're not going to say autonomous vehicle because no one really talks like that.
Right. That is wild. We're sort of un-AIing it in essence too. When I'm telling mine, who I gave her a name, her name is Chloe. Would I tell Chloe to sound like me? I'm un-AIing it in essence, right?
Yep.
Because I'm saying, hey, whoa. That
Yep.
does not sound like me. That's not something I would say. And I try very hard, by the way, when I'm using my bot, and I want to talk about how career people can use, or people that are looking for on the job hunt, or switch careers, whatever it may be. But I try to use my AI even more so now, and I've been using it for a year and a half, maybe, to just give me topics and some bullets to it and let me do the writing. Because I started feeling like I was relying on it too much.
Yep.
And I felt like I was cheating, even though it's probably not, but I did feel like I was cheating. So now I have it create my content, calendar, but then I'm trying to, I just don't want to lose my brain power. I don't want to use I don't want to lose my critical thinking and all the things.
The way I look at it is like the calculator, the internet. It's created more efficiencies in the world, the
That it
car.
has.
But no one says like, I don't want to walk 10 miles. Like, yeah, you could do it, but like, why? You know, this is the car age, you know, that like you're not going to avoid a car. So again, you can walk 10 miles if you want, but I'll see you there 3 hours from now. The same thing with AI, you know, like AI is not going anywhere. We opened up Pandora's box. Nope. What will become of that? I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's here. So
we won't be around to see when it iRobots us.
Exactly, but exactly, you know. So, but all that to say is like you can use it, leverage it. It's not going anywhere. Just again, to your point, as long as you know it's not dumbing you down. And it's only enhancing. So the way I do it is like you can either have AI and be Jarvis, which from Iron Man reference, or you can also have AI be the Iron Man suit, like enhanced.
Yeah, I love it. Great analogy.
You know, so or do both. And that's kind of how I try to leverage it.
So talk to us about having it be your career concierge, because again, you know, when we think about it, people are really suffering out there, particularly humans over 40. When it comes to this, AI is being used, obviously, as we're saying, everywhere, including the applicant tracking systems. And so while I can say, and others that are sort of experts in this area, not to use your age, I'm sorry, not your age, not to use your graduation dates and all those things so people figure out, you know, what age you are when you graduate and all the things.
Yeah.
You're going to help them crack the code in a sense. Tell us some things. Give us some things on what people can learn or how they can use AI.
All right. So I will have to say I can't divulge my secrets here. If they want to hear it, if they want to know, they got to come to CareerCon. They got to get the ticket. They got to show up. I'm right. Bringing the good stuff. I'm going to be fully transparent. I also, just FYI, I have a secret for anyone that goes, or not a secret, but a surprise or a gift is a better word, for anyone that shows up, which answers the whole concierge thing a little bit better. So
I love it.
Try to answer this question without because I can't just give you all the stuff right now.
Right. And I can't wait to hear it when I get there. I don't even know. Y'all, I don't even know it. Okay.
I know exactly. I have not told you. Yeah, you do not know this. But what can I think one thing, and I kind of touched this just a little bit. So I'll share this. Because we're in a new world with AI, I think we need to look at what that new world with AI looks like and take advantage of it very fast. So, for example, what does that mean? It's all nice words, but bring it to context. Before AI, we would have one resume and apply for jobs, and then have that one resume for that job. But because AI can move things so fast, I think everyone should re-update their job for every job they apply for. Like, if I'm going to try for 10 different jobs, let me change my resume 10 different times and make sure it fits that job description. And now we're not getting all these generic resumes. We're now are updating our resume for each job. Does that make sense?
It does, because I actually hear people trying to do that manually, and it gets tiring. And so what happens is they just change a couple of things, a couple of keywords for SEO purposes, obviously, to try to get noticed through the ATS. And and it gets tiring. And so I'm assuming that with what you're going to teach people on Saturday, there's going to be an easier way to do this, because instead of going in and again manually typing, changing everything, which can take such a long time. Because here's the thing, Regis, we don't believe in spray and pray when it comes to trying to find a job, first of all, because a lot of times that's what we're doing, because we just need a job. But they're sending hundreds of resumes. So I can't even imagine sitting. It is a job within a job, trying to find a job. So
All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit. All right, fine. I'll give you a little bit. Again, I'm not gonna give you a whole thing. But what if we can update the resume to be specifically what the interviewer is or the person is looking for? So it's one thing to change it for the company, but if it's like, how can I make my resume for Barbara? And so when she looks at it, it stands out to her specifically, and she's like, this is talking to me. you know? Hey, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave you there.
I'm
Yeah.
intrigued. I'm so excited to have you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this sounds amazing because my brain just went in so many directions with where I'm thinking this may go, but I'm not sure. So I'm
Exactly.
excited to learn myself. And I'm not even looking for a job, okay? But I'm thinking whatever you're going to teach us on Saturday and whatever you teach, even within your corporation, is something that even entrepreneurs, myself as an entrepreneur, can use when I'm pitching to speak. You know, when I'm pitching event planners to hire me to speak inside of the corporations about aging and ageism and intergenerational teams. So I can't wait. This is going to be fascinating. And yeah, and where can they, as we come to a close, where can they find you in advance of Saturday, or if they've seen this after our Saturday, January 17th event, and they just are curious about you and how you can help them? Where can they find you?
I am on LinkedIn. That's where I spend most of my time. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Regis Arzu in Colorado. There's Regis Jesuit School, but that's a whole nother thing.
Spelled the same, though. Spelled the same.
There you go. Exactly. So Regis, last name Arzu. And that's where I'm at. You know, I'm here to service any nonprofits. If anyone knows any nonprofits, or if you're a nonprofit listening or worked in the industry, I'd love to get in contact to leverage AI to help save time and money to do way more mission work. That's kind of my way of giving the good.
I love that. And it's funny because just before you said that, I was going to ask, how do you help others? But you just answered it. So I'm very hopeful. And, you know, usually I would save this for off air, but everybody knows that I just say what's in my head. I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to find out from my friend at Big Brothers Big Sisters. She's the president and CEO. Alicia Cook is her name. To see if, I don't know, they may need a contractor like yourself to help them move the company forward. So actually, no, there's a big RFP out there right now with strategic planning, and it's, we're going to talk. Okay, listen, I want to say thank you. Yeah.
Here's one more to, like, again, this is more just what I did, but this is how I leverage AI. People can use it however they want. But so I created an avatar of your ideal audience, right? 40 plus women that like.
And this is going to be men at this one too. This is women, men, and they at CareerCon.
So go ahead. 40-year-old person looking to, like, what can get, like, I created an avatar of the ideal person. I got the CareerCon, I pulled it, and I created the avatar of the ideal person to the point is like, this is going to be your audience, right? And then I took my whole presentation and presented it to that avatar to get the feedback. And that avatar told me it's going to be a 10 out of 10. So again, I'm not trying to overhype it. I'm not. But this is kind of how I leverage AI. And this is where I'm excited to talk to your audience.
Regis, I cannot wait for Saturday. Do you know, I even have a friend flying in from Cleveland to be here. She's staying with me. She's going to help us. And she's excited because she just lost her banking position and is only 56. So this makes it all the worth for people like Jen and others to be there. I want to say thank you. You can get tickets if you're watching this before Saturday, January 17th. You can get tickets at secondactwomen.com, and it's a /CareerCon. And I am so excited to have you there, Regis, alongside Janine Vandenberg, Andrew Hudson, Maria Daster, Aaron Mance, and Megan Joe, who's a senior recruiter who is going to give us the dirt on how she uses LinkedIn on the back end to find people. And I'm sure with what they're going to learn from you, there are ways that you'll be able to utilize that. So thank you so much. I want to thank everybody else for being here today. This is a little bit of a different program because we wanted to talk about AI in particular and careering and this event that we have. But I want to say thank you for coming. And Regis, I feel blessed that I met you at Park Hill Innovation Hub, which is where the event will be on Saturday morning.
And thank you for allowing me to serve, whether it's here or your audience. So just exist to serve. For anyone hearing it, just thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And we will see everyone soon. This is the House of Middle Essence. And remember that every day is a song, I should say, on your soundtrack, your 80s mixed CD or 90s mixed CD. That'd be 80s cassette. That's how I consider life to be, is that we're all living a big old soundtrack. So thank you for being here. We'll see everybody soon. Bye.